What's going on, guys? Got another Comic Haul Thursday review for you, so let's get into it. All right, first comic I'll be doing is Ghost Rider #3. Now, Ghost Rider is tied for my favorite Marvel hero along with Moon Knight, and once they announce this new series, I was just like, gotta keep up with this, gotta read it, gotta see it. So what's going on pretty much is Johnny Blaze has been kind of trapped in this town that wasn't really real. It was just kind of an illusion. He had like a wife, 2 kids. He was working for his father-in-law as a mechanic. He had this really tragic motorcycle accident. He was just pretty much kind of, going to therapy. And then, guy comes in, tell him everything is fake, and then the writer gets released and comes back, and he finds out someone's trying to keep him out of the game and keep him caged somewhere and just try to keep him like out of the world for whatever reason. So the first thing I love about it is like there's this whole mystery aspect to it, and there's always kind of been like that thing going on with Ghost Rider, and he was trying to like find Zadkiel and like one of the older arcs, and there's just always a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff he has to figure out and find out, and I really kind of like this. It's been a little bit of a slow burn first couple of issues. Like I don't think the second issue really like did anything to progress the story too much. It was just kind of crazy and like gory and everything. But still, it's been a really good series. Like the first thing I noticed, other than this really cool shot right here, this raven just flying, that's really cool. That was a cool shot. But another thing I love about it is they're trying to make it this kind of a horror comic, and I love that. The opening monologue of Johnny, everything's so descriptive, and it's like all these visions he's going in and out. It's really setting like a proper tone for a horror comic, and it's really kind of like get you in the mood for any real kind of action or anything really crazy and really happen. So I just really love how descriptive it gets, and just like his inner monologue is probably the best part of this because there's just so much things he's thinking, and you know just like a lot going on. It really kind of sets a really good kind of scary somber tone. And then after the opening, you got this scene that shifts right to the Midnight Magicians council, and they're talking about like Johnny's out, but he doesn't know what he's doing. Ghost Rider's going crazy, and like Zebediah kind of wants to intervene, but they don't let him. And so they clearly know what's going on here. They just aren't gonna like tell Johnny or help him out in any way, and like we also don't know as well. So I think that's kind of cool, just seeing what's going on, and just what really like I'm like every issue I read, I'm just like I'm getting more and more excited for what the end game is gonna be here, because there's obviously something really huge going on. And you got Johnny getting picked up by this weird dude who eats eggs, and then there's this crazy truck thing. But this art just looks great right here, like this insane little like that little truck thing. And then back to it being a horror comic, just the visuals they do are really, really amazing. Like I'm gonna go forward, like this panel right here where the Ghost Rider comes out of Johnny. Like if you look at that earlier panel right there, he's like ripping his face off before the Rider comes, and the Rider's just like busting out of Johnny's body. Like the artwork is just so like it's just so appropriate. You know what I mean? Like it's just so appropriate for this entire comic. Like look at this, like Ghost Rider like transforms a whole truck, and it's just awesome. Like this art just works so well for Ghost Rider. Like it's amazing. And then we have like a small little scene because Johnny's getting hunted by the FBI, and there's like this chick who's with this FBI agent who knows stuff, and we don't know what's going on with her either, where she comes from. So it's just a lot of mystery going on. It really keeps you intrigued. There's a lot of like unknowns here, and a lot of stuff really going on that's just like you just really wondering where it's all coming from, where it's all started, and where it's all gonna end. I think that's really, really cool. It's a very good balance between narration and action. There's not like too much action per issue, but like whenever there's action, it contributes to the story, it goes somewhere, and it really just balances out with the narration and the exposition that goes on in the issue as well. There's like this FBI agent with this girl, and he's like super proper and stuff, and she's kind of like some kind of goth, rebel type thing, and their interplay is really cool. Johnny, going on his own, trying to keep the Rider cage and point him in the right direction and stuff is really, really cool. So I really, really enjoy this comic. It's very, very nice, very balanced. The artwork works so well with it. And you just really wondering where it's all going, because everybody seems to know what's going on except for, Johnny. And it's crazy. You got the council musicians, you got, whoever caged him there, and like what's the whole in-game plan toward to that no one wanted him to be involved in, and it's just like really, really awesome. So definitely go check this out. This is just a great series. I love it. All right, next up we got Strange number 3. Now, when I first heard the Death of Doctor Strange was becoming a thing, I was like really interested to see what happens. And now, when Strange got announced, I was instantly like, okay, cool, gotta watch this, gotta keep what's going on. So pretty much open the issue after the whole, zombie thunderstrike thing. Claire's pretty much coming up into this dude's office. He's like a huge gang member, the Rose. And then I just love how Claire takes no shit from anybody. Like when Doctor Doom tried to come get the Eye of Agamotto and the cloak levitation, she just pretty much shut him up and kind of made him go with his tail between his legs. And then when she walks into the Rose's office, he's like, coming in here without permission is tantamount to suicide. And like, what'd they call you when you were alive? And then she's like, Sorcerer Supreme. And then he starts getting all nervous and stuff. And Clay's just so awesome, dude. She's just straight up like killing folks, defending people. Like she doesn't care what anybody says, dude. She just all in, bro. She's like so brutal and like just so like dominant. It's awesome. I love seeing it. So pretty much she goes and fights these guys who like shot up her favorite like magical bazaar and whatever. So she goes after them and they trap her, right? Or they catch her in a trap. Which, by the way, like, does this not look like a variant cover? Like, does this not look like something that should be a variant cover? That was just an awesome shot right there. But anyway, they have this little thing that takes away magic for like 3 whole minutes, but of course she's like insanely powerful. So she still just like destroys them, like totally destroys them. She just like no, it doesn't even matter pretty much. So she turns them all to stone, right? So she turns them all to stone, totally beats them, and she just finds a room of computers, right? So like pretty much this whole syndicate or whatever they call them. I forgot what they're called. What are they called? The Blasphemy Cartel. Yeah, that's what they were. So pretty much they're doing some stuff with computers, and no one knows exactly what's going on because why would like a magic syndicate need like computers do anything because they can do magic. So anyway. So she brings this little trinket home to Wong, and he says he remembers it. And there's a shadowy figure you see with him and Dr. Stephen Strange, but he can't exactly remember what it is about it. So there's definitely this small little trinket that's going to come into play somehow, some way. I'm not exactly sure what is blocking his memory. It might have been something like Stephen did, or maybe something he did himself. Maybe it might have been some kind of like thing to implant, like to make him like sleep rage or something like that. I don't know. We don't know. But he can't seem to remember. So then it goes, we find out that Claire's mom is coming to dinner, which is interesting. That I can't wait to see that. Actually, that should be very interesting. A good bit of comedic opportunity there. Then we go to Blasphemy Cartel's headquarters, right? And like we don't exactly know who or what this guy is. It just kind of seems like a void. Like if the Spot had no like black on his outfit. And he's like, okay, well, we're too far in now. We have to have overwhelming force. And he pretty much wants to like destroy Bleecker Street, right? Destroy the Sanctum Sanctorum and everything. Like he wants to just totally destroy Claire, get out of the way because she's impeding whatever they're trying to plan to do up in here, right? So that's pretty much how this issue ends. But what I'm most excited for is in the preview of the next issue, we get this guy. And I don't know if you know who that is, but that is Shadow Knight. That is Mark Spector's brother. That is Moon Knight's brother. That's pretty much Moon Knight's Reverse Flash. That's pretty much not Moon Knight's arch enemy. That'd be Bushman, but this is probably a close second. Like as soon as I saw this, I was hyped. So yeah, for sure, definitely excited for this new issue. This was a really awesome issue. I just love seeing Claire just take no prisoners and just dominate everyone she sees. Like, it's probably gonna come back to bite her because she's just like really hot tempered and just wants to like fight and destroy everybody. So it's probably gonna come back to bite her. But I just love her personality. She's so much more aggressive and just so like kill first, ask questions later kind of thing. She's merciless, and I just love it, dude. I love it. All right, next we got Spider-Man 2099. Now, pretty much in the first issue, we find out that Cabal is going on. They've got pledges trying to find this Eden or this celestial head, or is this celestial like went and died, and we pretty much find out Norman Osborn's alive. Just some crazy stuff. I don't know what the hell's going on, but yeah. So pretty much you pick up with this issue. Spider-Man's taking all these refugees to Transverse because he kind of pretty much destroyed their home where they were hiding from. And we open this monologue of him and Ghost Rider telling them Osborn's back and trying to figure out how to get everything shut down, just so all this stuff can cool off. Because stuff like, there's like so much going on in here, like I feel like I'm so behind. But here we go to the Winter Soldier 13. Now I have no clue about this character at all, anything about what's going on, but pretty much looks like this Winter Soldier is trying to find her memories of who she was before she was a Winter Soldier, and that's pretty much her whole shtick right now. So there's like a whole monologue about kind of like her past and what's going on. Then she meets this guy who seems to have all her memories, and he also is like a Cabal pledge who has a lot of information and intel, right? And I find it like really funny because he he brings out this thing that has her memories in it, right? And he's like, oh well, you have to get to the garden to access these memories and to fix this, and of course I'm gonna go with you because you know, my death is gonna trigger this. And she just like punches him in the head and leaves him with like a dent in his skull. It is so hilarious. Like he's like, oh well, you can't kill me because this and this, and then she just like totally like murks this dude with a single punch. It's hilarious. So then she meets this old lady who's kind to her, and you know, stuff like that. You know, for a little bit of character building, you know, kind of the softer side, and she's the one around killing everyone she's seen so far. Then we get Crossbones, and wow, this design is crazy. Steve's like, he looks kind of like Bane in the face to me for a second, but he's like bandaged up. He's got like Bucky's arm. He's just like an insanely like crazy looking cyborg. Really good character design. I love it. He's got this rifle that's pretty much his version of the Buster Sword that Cloud carries. Because this thing it looks like it's at least 3/4 the size of his body. So they fight, and it's really awesome. Like he starts trying to shoot her up because he didn't think she would see him, and then they start fighting, and then he like rips her arm off like it's nothing. He rips her arm off with Bucky's arm. And then, you know, there's like this really interesting dialogue about, you know, Crossbones says I'm the bad dog they let loose, and that dog always gets fed. It's kind of like a really cool, just like, I don't know why I like it so much, really, but pretty much she like destroys him, like just stabs him right down the side, and just utterly kills this dude with like a bread knife, almost, that she took from the train. Which, good thing she did, because she would definitely be dead otherwise. And then she says, a few parting notes, Mr. Bones. Dogs get put down. So she actually takes Winter Soldier's arm and puts it on herself. And then, like, this is probably the best piece of artwork in this whole comic. Like, these colors and all the shading and everything, just amazing. So vibrant. It looks almost like the Nightwish album cover, Oceanborn, I think it was. But, and she sees all her memories, and she just gets everything flooding back to her as she makes it to Eden. And like, she pretty much kind of gets her happy ending, you know. Kind of, sort of. But she goes back to her family, gets her happy ending, you know, stops a couple of evil machine things, and then looks like that's kind of nearly the end for her arc, I guess. And now we kind of transition on to probably Osborn coming in more as like a main player, not just a background character. So this series is really good. It's shaping up really well. Like I said, I don't really know exactly what's going on. I just like Spider-Man 2099, and so I'm just like, I'll probably have to do a little bit more research just to get back into this, see what exactly is happening. But really awesome series, great action, a lot of guest characters. You know, Ghost Rider 2099 is awesome. Winter Soldier 2099, Crossbones. I think it's really cool. Yeah, just probably gotta do some research to get more into this one and you know, see what's happening. All right, last but not least, we got Carnage number 3. Now, what I will say about this series is like it's just really crazy. Like it's it's interesting to see Carnage acting without Cletus and to see what this whole kind of plan thing is and exactly just what's going on with the Carnage symbiote as itself without a host. You know, it's gone around and it's killed Hydro Man. It's got this disciple guy following him. He infected this cop. And I'm just wondering what the end game here is, right? I'll edit that out. So anyway, we pick up with Carnage fighting the Spot, right? And it's just like he just like it's just the level of stuff that this symbiote is doing is just like insane. By the way, I hate the way the Spot goes out. Like Carnage's disciple just surprise grabs his leg, and then that's how he gets stopped. I mean, it's just like, bro, that was lame, dude. Like that is so lame, bro. But anyway. Yeah, I mean, the Spot, I mean, I guess he doesn't really die, but, you know, Carnage's disciple loses his hand, and Carnage takes, like, the main Spot, I guess, from him. And then we see him go into a portal, take his disciple with him, right? And then so we transition back to this cop, right? And then so, dude's named Jonathan Shade. Last time we saw this guy, Carnage had infected him with this symbiote, right? And it's slowly driving him crazy. It's kind of showing him visions of what he could do if he was just more aggressive and let himself loose. And it's really interesting to see because you kind of just wonder what's going on. Like, why is this happening? So the Carnage symbiote, like, healed the guy after he found Carnage and infected him with, I guess, the symbiote. But the symbiote doesn't seem to be Carnage. It seems to be Cletus. Because the symbiote's talking to him, you know, like trying to like pretty much make him go insane. So there's like a voice in his head that's driving him crazy. But when he asks, what do I call you? He said, you can call me Cletus. And then when he talks, he refers to Carnage as Carnage. And like, well, if I know Carnage, and I do know Carnage. So it's like, this isn't Carnage. It's the Carnage symbiote, but it seems to be Cletus's personality or mind, which I'm not exactly sure how that's working or what's going on here. So it seems like the Carnage symbiote is on its own, but I guess it was still so influenced by Cletus that Cletus is somehow still like there, and he's using this cop as maybe like a new kind of Carnage or some kind of anti-Carnage or something like that. I don't know exactly what's going on, but it's like this isn't Carnage, it's Cletus talking to him, which is really, really weird, and I don't know what's going on with that. And pretty much they go to this observatory because Carnage wants to spread his atoms all across, you know, different universes and take stuff over, you know, because there's this doctor that spoke about sending particles across dimensions and everything, and then he references back to when Venom became the King in Black and all this godly power that Venom had that he felt and wanted. But he says since Venom has the power of the gods, he's going to be the killer of gods. So now I'm kind of thinking like Gore type stuff with the Necrosword or something, but I could be wrong about that. But it's just like he just says he's going to kill gods, which is like crazy. And then on the last panel, we see, you know, the Detective Shade get there, and you kind of slowly see him, you know, getting a little symbiote there. And it's just, I don't even know what's going on really with this, you know? It's just like there's so much stuff going on. You got Carnage, you got a disciple, you got the symbiote being by itself without a host, but then he infects the detective, and it's Cletus talking to him, not Carnage. And I'm just like, this is like really, there's like a lot of stuff going on, and it's just a lot of stuff going on that's really interesting to see what exactly is going on, because there's Carnage, but then there's still Cletus, and then there's this disciple guy who you don't really like that much. I don't really like him that much. He's kind of just like he just follows him around, I guess, and like he doesn't really do much except whine a lot. But hey, you never know what could be going on with him. But having Carnage as itself without a host and having Cletus and his other dude's head, I'm just wondering like what exactly is the payoff of that? What's going to be going on with that, and why did he choose like this specific guy, and how is it Cletus in there and not Carnage, who has the Carnage symbiote? I'm just really interested to see where it goes. This is like really like for a solo title, this is very, very interesting. I'm very interested, like especially with it not having Cletus. When I found out there wasn't gonna be any Cletus, and I was like, okay, well, how's this gonna work? What's gonna be the motivation? Like, what's like gonna be the overall plot here? But it's actually working out pretty well. They're doing a pretty good job. Art is, of course, great as always. Like, I just love like that splash page I showed you earlier with Carnage going into all the portals. Like, I feel like it could have maybe been a bigger splash page, but I'm not an artist, so. But yeah, very interesting stuff. Interesting kind of storytelling stuff going on there. And I really can't wait to get further into these series and just see where it all goes, man. Because I'm really excited, and just make my own like little mini theories and everything like that. So yeah. So that was a Comic Haul Thursday review. If you guys like this, you can like, comment, and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching, and keep on reading.